Guys, I'm quickly going to show you how to install these European style cabinet slides. They're the most standard, basic type of cabinet slide you'll come across, but don't let their simplicity fool you. They're very robust. You know, look how much weight it's holding. I think they're rated for up to 100 pounds. They're very inexpensive, and they're quite easy to install. So I'm going to show you guys quickly how to get them set up. So these are the slides. This is what I got from Lee Valley, and I'm just going to quickly unbox and show you guys what's inside. So when you open up the package, there's basically 4 main components which are inside. So you have 2 slides that are going to be mounted on the inside of the cabinet. So these are going to be marked where is it? Cabinet left and cabinet right, and they basically look like this. So if you see here, you can see a small marking cabinet left and cabinet right. Now the other 2 are for the drawers. So you have one that says drawer right and the other says drawer left. And then the only other thing that comes with it are these screws. So that's all you really need to install these cabinets. As far as tools go, I'm using a screwdriver. I have my center punch, and I'm also using a level, which I have. So these tools are really all you need to install these. These are the slides I'm installing right now. I've done 2 of them so far. I'm not going to cover how to make the actual drawers. Because I kind of want to do that more in depth, and these are very, very basic, the ones I've built. I've used miters, which I don't think is the ideal way of doing it. It's better to do rabbeted or dovetail joints, but I just needed to get these done. So for these ones, I did miters, and I've just done plywood on the inside, but these are solid oak drawers. The thing I will say about constructing the drawers is that they need to be an inch smaller than the opening. So what you need to do is you have to measure what the opening is. You want to do this right on the end. So for instance, you know, more or less these are 19 3/4. You could go, you know, yeah, 19 3/4. And then the other thing you want to do is you want to measure the back, and you want to make sure that it's more or less square. So this one's okay, it's 19 3/4. If it's not square, your opening, then you're gonna want to play around with it and try and adjust it. Like as you can see here, I've kind of pushed it in. You know, it doesn't look pretty, but it gets the job done for this. So you want to just make sure that the it's the same all the way across, because otherwise it's gonna bind as it's going in. So yeah, when you're designing your drawer, it's going to be an inch smaller than your opening. So if this is 19 3/4, basically my drawer is going to be 18 3/4. That's a ½ inch for either side. Sorry, I'll say one more thing about the drawer construction. So basically, if you want it to end flush with this point, what I recommend you do is you measure to the back and you see what it is. So that's basically 15 3/4, and then back there is 15 3/4. So then just make a deduction, like say go 15 3/8, so that you have a little bit of wiggle room, and then that's basically how I would determine the depth of the drawers. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to basically put them in the correct position. So you have your cabinet left and your cabinet right slide. So you're going to get them set up where they're supposed to go. In terms of positioning, all I'm doing is I'm lifting them up slightly to about there. If you didn't have a platform to work off already, you could just, you know, measure out lines and then draw lines where these are going to go. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just lifting them up and I'm putting the first screw in. It's also important to check level between the 2 sides. These are things I already did in the constructions of the, well, no, I didn't construct these. This is a Dumbwaiter. It's a historic thing. But basically what I did was I ensured that basically these 2 side pieces were level, so that you know, it would give me a clean installation. All right, guys, so I'm going to use my center punch, and I'm going to lift up basically to there, and I'm going to make sure it's flush at the beginning, and I'm going to I typically like to use this hole right at the top because I find that these ones can sometimes, if it's tight, interfere with the sliding of the drawer. So I like to do this one because it's not going to interfere. I basically put a punch there, and then I'm using a hand screw driver, and I'm going to screw this one in. Line that up. Perfect. So I've got that in. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my level, and I'm going to put the level on it, and I'm going to get it more or less good. So right there, I'm happy with. You guys probably have a better view than I do of this. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to make sure it doesn't move. I'm going to put a center punch. My screw is basically holding it. And I'm going to put this one in right there. Oops. I can move it around now because I can just line it back up with my punch, and they'll know if I can find it. Yeah, right there. There we go. Okay, so I've got my first one in, and now I'm gonna repeat the process on the other side. All right, so I've got both of them in. The reason I lifted it up is because on my earlier ones, I was putting this one flush with the ground and then just raising the back slightly, and I noticed that it was rubbing a lot, so I've decided to just lift them completely off. And for my positioning, I know basically it's level across, so as long as I'm going flush with the top for both of these, it's good. But if you didn't have these, you could use a laser, or you could, you know, measure from, you know, the same surface, like you could measure from the ground up and mark points and then do the same, and then that would determine basically the positioning of the slides. These are the drawers. I've actually already put the slides on this one, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to put the drawer right on the right side, and this is when it's facing you. So drawer right on the right side and drawer left. And this is the front of the cabinet, and this is the back. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to put it flush with the beginning of the cabinet, and you're gonna have the gap at the back, like that. They have a lot of different sizing options for these, so when I was making a decision to buy, let's just check now what I bought. So these are, they look to be about 13, just under 14 inches. Or I think they would be classified as 14 inches. So basically what I did was I measured, because I want my drawer to end flush with this. So I measured, and I have 15 and 3/4. So I went a couple sizes down. So just measure the depth of your cabinet and then go under the size. The other thing I started to do was, rather than put the screws in the side, because what I noticed was actually if I'm a little bit tight, it'll start to rub. I started to put all of the screws in the bottom. All right, so we've got our drawer, and they're really easy. You just kind of drop it in, and wow, it works really well. It's because we already checked level. That looks okay. You know, this one could be a little bit lower, but ultimately it's sliding really well. So yeah, that's basically how you install the cabinet drawer slides. I hope this helps, guys, and I'm going to put a link to the slides in the description. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Okay, see you guys.